Another video. Been delaying this job for a long time. Our front door step here is low in this corner. You can maybe see that because over the last week or so we've had some heavy rain. There's been some workers working up on the scaffolding, and in this corner you'll see some debris, basically stuff that's been carried along with the water into this corner. I know that this corner here has been the cause of damp seeping through into this wall and into the dining room wall. I fixed a big part of that with the damp course that I put in. But this video will be the start of work to realign this stone. I'm not sure how to do it. That's why I've been procrastinating for so long. But my first step for today will be to lift these floorboards here, gain access and take a look. Once I've had a look, I'll put the floorboards back down, scratch my head. As you can see here, a little bit of a bald patch. I've been scratching my head a lot since I finished my chemotherapy, and the hair in that area didn't grow back. But I'll get the floor up and take a look and see where we go. Well, as you can see, I've had some guests living under the floor. Quite a few snails here. And you can see that the end of the floorboard that was closest to the front door is rotten. So that makes me think that's where the damp's been coming in. Let's go ahead and get on with the job. All right, let's put the camera in there and have a look. Right, so what I'm showing you here is the foundation on which the outside step rests on. There are rows of slate with some mortar in between. So I'm going to see if I can lever it up a little bit, see if there's any play. Sorry for the unsteady hand. Well, it's plan B. I spoke to a good friend of mine. Lost touch with him many years ago because of our travels around the world. But I got back in touch with him a few months ago. It was great. He spent his life installing windows. He's a carpenter by trade. He spent his life installing windows, doors, so he knows a lot about these things. I told him about the leak that we had and the fact that I was going to try and re-level the stone doorstep. First question he asked was, what kind of door do you have in there? He said, nice composite door, is it? UPVC door? I said, nope, it's an old door. And someday, one day, we'll plan to replace it. And he shook his head and said, why are you messing around then? He said, for the moment, why don't you go outside on the step, use one of these to clean the mortar out between the step and the wall, clean everything out, blow out any dust, seal it with some PVA, and then fill it with silicone. He said, doing that, it'll probably last you the next 10 years, he said, but by doing that, he said, you've got a short to mid-term solution. He said, the problem that we'd have is if we try and do things now, we've got the bottom of the door that goes across where the top of the step is. We've got the edges of the door that ultimately go down onto the floor, that go down onto the top of the step. He said, you're making your life more difficult. He said, once you've got the door ripped out, the old door will be out, the old door frame will be out. He said, then it will be easy to get in there, the access will be good. If needed, you'll be able to raise the back of the step a little bit. But he said, quite probably, with the right silicone sealer applied properly, the problem that you had or currently have will go away. So that's what I'm going to do. You've got the tools, you may as well use them. And when you've got somebody with knowledge, you'll be foolish to listen to everything they say and then do the complete opposite. So that's my job. On with it. I see already that there's a hole there. Well, it's clear to me that I can't just be putting the silicone in here. Got to fill this great hole first. Repointing, as you know, or as you may know, is Gill's expertise. Sadly, she won't be around for the next few weeks. She's got some other things going on. So this job's just down to you and me. It won't be up to her standard, I'm sure, but at least it will get done. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to find a spacer of wood to go across the bottom here. Then I'll repoint this with lime mortar. Leave everything for a couple of days to harden off a little bit. Then I'll pull the wood out from underneath and then fill silicone in the gap where the wood was before. Sounds easy, doesn't it? I'm sure that it will be. Let's see. Right, so it doesn't look too bad. Let's leave that overnight and maybe a couple of nights to dry. And then, all being well, fingers crossed, I'll squirt the silicone in. Cup of tea time now. Sunny day today at Bramble Cottage. I'm very lucky with the weather. I put the lime mortar in a couple of days ago now. It could be a little bit harder, but it's okay. Over the last couple of days, when I've come in the morning and left in the evening, I've given it a quick spray of water and a bit of a brush. So today, just very quickly, a short job. I'm going to put the silicone underneath and make a seal. Well, shouldas and couldas aren't worth anything. That's a job that I could have done a long time ago. It's a job that I should have done a long time ago. But I didn't. And on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter too much. But if I had had everything plastered in here and not fix that, eventually all of the plaster that we'd put on would have come off again. So as my mother always says, stitching time saves 9. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the silicone to dry for a couple of days. There's no rain in the forecast, which is good news. But after a couple of days, once the silicone's gone off, I'll get my hose pipe out and see how effective the seal has been. If the seal isn't working, when I take the floor up, I should be able to see moisture coming in. If not, for the moment, that temporary fix will work. As I mentioned earlier in the video, our intention is to replace the door surround. And once we've got the door and the door surround out, then we'll be able to readjust the doorstep. I was talking today to the previous owner of the house. He said that his brother, or his late brother, and his late mother would be truly impressed with what we're doing and what we've done. That makes me smile, makes me proud of the achievement. I told him that one of the things that we'd found ironic with the cottage, that whilst there were many jobs that needed doing, the windowsills, the old stone windowsills that were put in place 150 years ago, say, I think 1850s, 1880s, somewhere around then. This house was originally built, but the stone windowsills and the doorstep, even today, they're perfectly level. They're level in both planes. So they're level along that way and along that way. It's truly impressive.
except ideally the doorstep should be level across the door and sloping down slightly towards the outside. But then, come on, 150, 180 years, you can't complain at that.